What is an execution context or a transaction? Any interaction done by user or any other. The Apex code runs inside a transaction, which is also called as execution context. For example, here we are going to take a user interaction with LWC, but interactions can be with anything like Visual Force page, web service call, batch executions, future call, schedule jobs, etc. So now if user clicks on this create SR button, it invokes this method create service request method. To fulfill this interaction, this entire code runs within a execution context. Please note that transaction and execution context both are one and same, just both are interchangeable words. Once completion of this logic, the transaction, that is this execution context, ends with a success or failure response. There are two important things that we need to remember with respect to execution context. One is the scope of static variable is execution context. That means if you declare a static variable anywhere within this transaction, then that static variable will be available till the end of transaction or execution context. For example, here this static variable, I am static variable in SRP is declared over here, and this static variable will be available within this execution context throughout this transaction. Please note, this static variable will be available within this execution context. The other execution context gets a new copy of the static variable. For example, if another user tech2 user creates service request, then his interaction runs in a separate transaction, that is a separate execution context is maintained for his interaction. And that separate execution context will have its own static variable copy. The next point that we need to remember is governor limits. Each execution context has the fresh governor limits. In case of synchronous interaction, synchronous governor limits gets assigned. If in case the interaction is asynchronous, then asynchronous governor limits gets assigned. Please note that transaction gets succeeded only when there are no exceptions till the end of the transaction. If in case any exception occurred within the transaction and if we have not handled that exception, then the transaction and all DMLs within that transaction gets rolled back.